Good to see everybody here. Okay, we currently have over 200 participants here. Okay, so we are slowly getting more and more in. Okay, it was full up. And may I say a very good welcome and good morning to our speaker, Mr. James
Hi,
Yeo.
good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, ZARIM.
Yes. So today, James will be talking on giving us some insight on the technical of modular construction. Let me just quickly introduce him. Okay, so James is the managing director from Solid Horizon Sdn Bhd. Okay, he came back from UK after studying and getting a first class honors in mechanical engineering from Leeds University. That's in Britain, I suppose. Okay, and since then he couldn't wait. He's taken over the family business, pushing his father out. Okay, and one of his aims for his company is to provide innovative quality construction and services, and to be a pioneer in modular construction, providing the nation with a fast building, quality and affordable homes and living units with an IBS and green concept material. Okay, so he will share some of the pillars that the company is doing at the moment. So some of the strategies are including nurturing, promoting effective working culture. Number two, ensuring the process of sustainable technology and green innovation. Okay, the company tend to provide world-class services, putting environment, communal impact over profit. So, yeah, but at the same time, it's making a lot of profit, I'm sure. Okay, so,
Yes.
and of course, above all, he wants to ensure quality and safety at the company itself have got over the years since 2012. They have obtained many ISO standards. He has went on to produce several companies to add to his current company, and some of the things that in 2018. Okay, this is a milestone for him, which is he won an award, Most Influential Young Entrepreneur, way back in 2019. Among other things, he has also set up a development company. So I think this is to help with his product that he's going to share us with this. And in 2019, he's got IBS from IBS certification from CIDB for his particular cuboid modular system, which I think he will share a little bit afterwards. Okay, and the last one that he did was he's got awarded with 1,000 tags from CLQ. From Kamudako, that is a very big company. He also utilized or set up another company, which is the BIM Mod, which utilizes BIM in modular construction. So without further ado, I would like to call upon Mr. James Yeo to begin his presentation. Before that, I'd just like to remind all the participants that towards the end of the Q&A, there will be a QR code, which basically, if you are interested in getting more information about the company, please scan the QR code or click on the link. Okay, that will lead you to the company's web, where you can find out further information from James Yu's company later on, Solid Horizon. Thank you very much. So over to you, Mr. James Yu.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Zarim. So it is very proud of me that able to be invited by PAM as a speaker here today. This is something that I think that I can help to give and provide knowledge to the rest of the architect. Okay, so further to what Inject Zarim have already introduced me, just a little bit further to that is that through my experience in the construction industry, our diversification of work is basically moving towards modular construction, because we believe that this will be the main things moving forward. So not to further delay on that, I will now share my screen. They have a very big crowd that is out of my expectation too. So thank you very much everyone for the support. There are some architects that I know start messaging me saying, hey James, what are you doing in PAM seminar? I said, I'm giving some talks here. So please come over to support. Okay, so today mainly is what we're going to talk about is on this modular construction for Malaysia futures. So for those who already know what is modular construction, I just want to further touch a little bit on the history of modular construction. If you can see from the pictures, this is a pyramid. Okay, so the pyramids was actually built last time that there's a concept of this modular construction already. Okay, so after that on 16,000, we start to have the first what we call a civilized human modular construction. That there's a guy, a fisherman who is from he's American, then he is from England, so he moved back to American and he said that, hey, I want to build a house in American, but I need the technology from England. Okay, so what they do is they dismantle the house in England and ship it all over to Atlantic Ocean to American. That is where it born the first modular construction, and it derived from there. Okay, so in 18,000, United States expanded very much on modular construction, and there are so many home pre-assembly and built in American itself. So this is how it looks like back then for modular construction. So in 19th century, they already start doing modular home. 1897 is where this E.F. Hudson, they start to have plant in Dover for all the American, because by that time people start to need housing. So American by that time is just like all the developed country that they start need to build houses for all the population. They are start growing it, and across the few decades they sold 100,000 of modular home. So this is how the modular construction started. Okay, so further to that, what we're going to touch about today is that I will touch on the history of this modular construction, which I have already explained. So we'll touch on what are the type of modular construction available today. Why do we use modular construction? I will touch on the history of this modular construction, which I have already. Sorry. Yeah, correct. So then we're going to touch on this Malaysia CIDB IBS and CIDB into modulars, solid horizon into modulars, and then further on the third point, we will be sharing with you how do BIM and also DFMA integrated with modular construction. So take a look at these pictures. If you can see what happening in current construction is on the picture on the front. Okay, people are building it inefficiently. Okay, I always choose to be the one at the back that giving people solution. This will help the construction industry very much, because I want to help to make the building greener and more sustainable. That is where every single one of you here that will help to make the change in the industry. By knowing modular construction, you can make our building better, greener, and of course smarter. So we want to share with you today is that before we go into modular construction, we have to change our mindset to become a believer of using modular construction technology to help the entire Malaysian, our nation, to build a better buildings. Then we can go into what is modular construction. Okay, so I want to touch on this. This is a very interesting news. Okay, initially when I do this slide, the company haven't closed down. Okay, this Katera is one of the biggest startup company in the United States that managed to take a fundraise from SoftBank, and then they managed to raise $2 billion from the entire funding exercise, and then they start to build many factories. If you can see, Katera has owned 3 factories in California, Washington, and India. So they built many 5-star hotels and high-rise. Okay, what I'm trying to show you here is that the globally believe in modular construction. Why not Malaysia? Why not Malaysian? That is the things that I'm trying to create awareness here to let people know the importance of modular construction and why they fail. Just a little bit sharing is that they are expanding too fast, too much, because they go to acquire manufacturing from the United States. They do not know the local requirement. If you can see, this is something to do with our local PPT. Okay, pihak berkuasa tempatan. Each state have their different requirement. How do modular construction fit in? It have to come from the architect to let them know, our officer, our day officer, how do we help you to build the building better? Okay, that is the why they crash. But that is not what I want to show. I want to show is that this is an industry that is believed by everyone that can continue to help the world in terms of building sustainability. So I just share a very quick numbers from globally that in global modular construction, the entire market size in 2020, we're looking at $140 billion. And if you look at the market share, most of them goes to residential, okay, more than 50%. Then after that, in commercial, in industry, and in healthcare, so it's equally divided up, and then educational. Okay, so why is it more than 50% in residential? I will share it later. Okay, so you can see how pretty or how nice the modular construction can build a building to be. Okay, this is from Katera's, yeah. So I just share some of what they have completed. On the top left corner, you see they are building a sustainable building feature into a grey water system. This is using modular construction. On the top right, you're looking at, you know, all the boxes there, you know that this is already a modular construction. Okay, so on the bottom left, they are building a modular, using a modular system to build a 24-story high buildings in M Theatres, okay, in U District. Okay, this is one of the famous one. And then on the bottom right, they are using CLT, the friendly cross-laminated timber, okay, to build an office. Okay, so this is how nice a modular construction can build a building, yet fast. Okay, so let's look. Let's go into modular construction. The different definition. When we talk about modular construction, it's always we have to remind ourselves this is something that is a repetitive section. If it's not repetitive, if it's highly customized, it won't be effective. Okay, then we have to construct with a standardized unit. Okay, and it always has to be away from the site, and then we have to deliver to the site. That is the purpose of modular construction. Without all these elements, it won't have the advantages of doing a modular construction. So these are some of the key words from different country, but it all refer back to the same thing. In Malaysia, modular construction is under IBS. In CREAM, it is under CIDB2. We normally call it prefabricated volumetric modules. Singapore, very famous term, PPVC, which you'll hear me use it a lot later. So it's called prefabricated, pre-finished volumetric construction. Every single word means what it means. Okay. So DFMA is designed for manufacturing and assembly. I will touch on this later as well. MIC from Hong Kong, modular integrated construction. In Hong Kong, there are so many high-rise. This modular construction is very important over there. Okay, let's touch on this. This is a very simple concept of modular construction, how it works. You can see the first picture, we have 2 modules, 1 house. At the middle, 3 modules, still 1 house. On the right-hand side, 4 modules, it is still 1 house. So this is how beauty it is to use modular construction, that you can repetitively build more modules to increase the GFA of the buildings. Okay, this is a normal topology we use. But of course, we can put some things about creativity. You can make it L shape, you can make it like U shape, and so on. So now we go on the timber modulars. So steel modulars, concrete modulars, and hybrid modulars. These are the 4 main types of modulars construction. Okay, you can see the picture top left, how the timber modulars is built. Steel modulars on the bottom left. Then top right is a fully concrete modulars. And the bottom left is a hybrid. Hybrid is when we have steel and concrete together in one module. What type of products that we're going to be involved? Normally, if you can remember the picture, the pie chart I showed you just now, accommodation and hotel is the main products that we're going to use, because there are so many repetitive. Housing, education is like for student accommodation, public sector, public or health sector. Okay, so further into this timber modulars is not so well used in Malaysia, especially in Southeast Asia, because of our weather. Okay, this is the sample from the French. Okay, it's accommodation for 784 students. Okay, so if you can see, these are some of the process to do a modular construction using timber. It's similar to any steel or concrete modulars. So this is what you can see. They do a frame assembly here. Then we do the enclosure. After that, we are finished with the equipment, which is the window, ceiling, flooring. Then the final finishing plus TNC. That is how this whole thing built and sent over to site. Okay. Then we go to these steel modulars. Okay. What we have steel modular. This is a very famous buildings of using steel modulars, but it's in Singapore. Okay. I wish that this thing will come to Malaysia one day, that I can proudly say this project is in Malaysia. Okay. So setiap ladies and gentlemen out there, dear architects, hope that we're going to have to this day that we can proudly say that this modular construction is built, made in Malaysia, and is from the local architect in Malaysia, and it all starts from every one of you. Okay, so this project is in Singapore. It's a Crown Plaza extension. Okay, so this have 288 modules. Duration of this 10-story high building only 17 months. Okay, the each room is 28 meters square. The module only installed in 8 weeks time. 8 weeks it become a building. 10,000 GFA, 10,000 meters square GFA. Okay, so further to this is a process of steel modulars. Remember, all this thing was built in China factory. Okay, acoustic wall installation, wall panel framing. Then after that we install the curtain wall. After that we complete every single thing of the fit out in China factory. Then the whole module was sent over to the port and sent to Singapore, and they start to do the stacking. Okay, so let's see how the stacking work. Here you see, day number 4, 3-story. Day number 15, 5-story. Okay, and then here they continue goes up, and then almost 26th day they completed 10-story. And you can see the picture was taken at night. This site is right next to Changi Airport. They are not allowed to work in the morning. This is a site constraint. When architects face a problem of site constraint, we have to use technology to solve this problem. Okay, so when it's completed, it looks like this. And the entire site progress is only 1 month, if you can see. This is a very tremendous result that we will really be proud of if let's say this is part of the project you had. Okay, but when it's completed, it looks like this. Doesn't look like a square boxes that's completed because we have the facade. Okay, that's completed. You can see that this is the what do you call that, the airport towers lah. Okay, so they have many constraints plus surrounding there is no extra land for them to keep raw materials lah, and so on. Okay, so this is 288 module, 10 story in 30 days. Okay. Okay, so further to that, I want to touch on this concrete modular. This is the third type of modular construction. Okay, same thing also in our neighbor country, Singapore. This is one of the by far the world's tallest modularized building. Okay, is for residential. Okay, Clement canopy is 40-story high. Now with the same consultant, they are building the next milestone. They're going to build 56-story high using concrete PPVC. Okay, so this is what they are going to do. The one that is in service is currently this one. Okay, 1,899 module, 30 months to complete, 40-story high. Okay, 50% saving duration of construction, 30% in a site labor, no noise. I mean, not entirely no noise, but we have reduced significantly in terms of noise. No sidecast, no rebar on site, no grinding, no hacking, just stacking up like a Lego at site. That is the beauty of it. So these are some of the reading on this Clement canopy. I want to show everyone here is that they are building a 50,000 square meters, 500 units. Okay, so the important thing here is this, and this is also always the modular construction challenge. Each module, the weight is 26 ton to 31 ton. I don't think that in Malaysia, tower crane have this capacity to even bring up this heavy modules. Okay, so we have do a R&D on this as well. We have the people to basically build this tower crane to able to handle this weight at this height. Okay, it's something to do with safety. It's not something that boleh main-main one. Okay. Okay, so further to that, these are some characteristics of the proposed system. So you can see all it looks like squarish lah. Okay, because we try to make it efficient, we always have to follow the maximum size of the width and the length, and you have to be effective. So when we build a module, it looks like this. Our sea wall. Okay, you can see the purple color is the joining. You can see the tongue and groove. This is during the joining, both are joined together. Okay, floor slab, and then by balcony. Okay, all these are separated. Ceiling is a RC slab, and then this one is the follow their requirement on the buildabilities 2015. Okay, so this is how one module looks like, totally concrete modulars. Okay, this is how the pictures. Okay, this is when it's on the drawing, then when it's completed. Okay, so when we are in Malaysia factory, we'll check on this lah. Door, windows, size, thickness. So you can see this tongue and groove. This play a very important role. On the other side, it also has the same. So when both units join together, all will go into this tongue and groove. Okay, then after that, we'll grout it. Okay, so this is a finished module. Okay, now important thing. Why do we need to use modular construction? Okay, this is what the things we always see in the typical site, construction site. Rebar, sand, timber, cement. All the picture here looks so nice, but it is not like this in the site. Okay, inside we're going to have a lot of labor. Okay, of course, in Malaysia, we don't do it this way. Okay, we use excavator to take the soil. Okay, then the completed house, even though it's this nice, all these components are the ones who contribute to this, and it make how our site looks like. A very messy site arrangement, very labor intensive. When we have labor intensive, we have safety issue. How many workers die or accident in the site in Malaysia? Some number are recorded, some are covered. Okay, but we do not know the risk to this. Okay, site progress delay. Why? Everything at the site, we will have problem of raw mat, site wastage. Okay, this one I want to share is that Roro bin is the best business in the site construction. because every 1-2 days they're going to pull the rubber bin away again. Okay, this is our current construction issue. Okay, so before we go into modular construction, when an architect choose to do modular construction, we have to put this thing in your mind, in our mindset. Remember, modular construction is not cheaper. Okay, don't because of, hey, James, you help me to design modular construction. The cost per square feet, is it like 100, 110 compared to conventional? Remember, it's always higher. Modular construction is not cheaper than conventional construction, but modular construction is much faster than conventional construction. This is the mindset every single one of you have to have before we start in modular construction. If you don't believe in this, there's no way for us to able to sell this concept to the developers, okay, or even to the contractors. They will tell you, cannot lah, cannot do one. Why? Cost per square feet is high, overall is high. They didn't look at others pictures. Okay, so these are the typical schedule of a modular construction. Design, build, construction, this conventional one. Design, permit, done already. Okay, we have construction, we start do. 9 months completed. But in modular construction, we do it the other way around. During design stage, we already awarded the contracts. Okay, that is the different things. I repeat again. During design stage, even before permit approval, we already engage the contractors here. That is where the contractor need to work together with consultant in order to design the modular construction, follow the spec from the manufacturer, only we can go ahead. It's not the other way around that the consultant come out with a construction drawing, then the contractor go to design and come back ding dong, is a waste of time. Okay, so when it comes to here, site foundation ongoing, plant building it, the modules already. Okay, then after that, we go to do the site installation. So this whole thing will have a saving of 2 months. This is a short construction. Imagine we drag this thing to 3 years construction for high rise. It can save up to 6 months or 8 months possibly. It depends how we do it. Okay, further to that, these are a few key things. Okay, quality. Why? All is built in a controlled environment inside a factories. Okay, with the same batch of workers. Architect always have one issue. Why the plastering at the ground floor better, but at the 10th floor is different, on the 20th floor better? Why? It's done by a different batch of workers. Then all the finish and fit out and curtain wall is at the factory, and all the materials and quality is being controlled at factory, one location. Manpower will reduce significantly in terms of labor. A lot of labor will reduce at site. Okay, for the Clement canopy that you see just now, each of the hoist, they only take 10 workers each hoist. And then within 7 days, they will build one story in Clement canopies. Okay, so health and safety, no workers at site, reduce the safety risk already, reduce long hours, and also reduce working at height when we are doing high rise. Environmentally, reduce construction waste is the main things here. We won't see all the construction waste like what all the contractor will do. We will always put in a 5% wastage. Okay, so these are the money. These are the money that we are talking about, the saving. Okay, and we can handle constraint at site lah. Okay, constraint at site is like the site don't have any extra site, or maybe the site is next to a main road. Okay, that you cannot have the truck come in and so on, and you have to do it at night. Modular construction fit best. Okay, the Crown Plaza extension is one of the very good example. Okay, reduce noise surrounding. If let's say you are right at the city center, how to do it with so much noise? Okay, complain, in DBKL, the people go complain, DBKL will immediately take action one. Okay, so those are the good thing about modular construction. Next one I want to highlight on is this time. Reduce in 30% minimum. The contractor won't come to tell you, oh, raining or site delay. Why? It's under a controlled environment. It's under a shelter. Okay, part of industrialized buildings, and then we have this repetitive production. Okay, means every one workers will always every day do the tiles, every day do the skim coat, every day do the ceiling for next 6 months. If let's say they are not a skilled worker, they will become a skilled workers. Okay, that is the good thing about it. We have earlier handover, means earlier generating the money for occupancy. Okay, now the problem in Malaysia is that time doesn't seem like something important sometimes, because our SMP can be like 3 years, 4 years, you know. So those is one of the factors of it. Of course, we have the challenge. What is the challenge of modular construction is always the size and weight. Just now I show you 21 ton to 30 ton for a modules to hoist from ground all the way to 10 story, 20 story, 40 story. Okay, the weight is one of the things of the constraint and is a challenge. Second, the size. Modular construction has the size of maximum to 3.3 meter because that's where we can go on the road. If let's say bigger than that, it's going to be a escort transport. If it's escort transport, it will be a what they call it cost constraint. Okay, and then the length as well. Okay, it can go up to maximum 15 meter. So it's 3.3 by 15 is the max. But the efficient size is always 3 meter by 6 or 3 meter by 12. Okay, design change. Remember what I said just now? When we first design the thing, we have to engage the contractors or the consultants already of modular construction. Meaning to say that at the later stage after the permit approval, the developer say, hey, can I build the building the other way around or not? There is no way to do these changes already. So this is the constraint. We have to set the thing much earlier. Okay, logistic, if it's too far, let's say I'm in Selangor, my factory is in Penang. So the cost to come to Selangor will be something for us to consider too. Okay. Next thing, the biggest challenge is always the cost. Generally, the cost for modular construction is not a little bit higher, it's like higher than conventional construction. And then because it need to be self-sustained, because it need to be hoisted, okay, so we need to design this to be self-sustained, and then we're going to tend to be a little bit over-designed than compared to conventional way. Okay, material selection is crucial because due to modularize, okay, or else we're going to modularize and move around this thing, the thing will crack lah, okay, leakage problem lah. So we have to be very careful during our material selection. Okay, then we need a very large space lah at our yard, because once those modules completed, imagine 1,899 unit, you need to space one shot you send to site. Okay, so we need a very big space. So this is where the cost incurred. Okay, so further to that, this is just a quick comparison. You can see steel, hybrid. Hybrid is steel plus concrete. Then we have concrete, we have timbers. In terms of the program is the schedule, then the cost, the quality is more or less the same because all is offsite fabrication. The weight, steel is lighter, concrete is a negative because concrete is very heavy. Okay, best use hotel. So concrete we need to use for housing. Okay, number of story can go. No constraint for the top first three, but timber got constraint because timber, the engineering, the strength for timbers is limited. That's why we cannot go too high. Okay, so that above is on the type of construction, modular construction. Now we go into CIDB, into modular construction. Okay, so, under IBS, what I call industrialized building system, I believe every one of us here as a architect, we went through this course already of understanding what is IBS. So IBS, the similarity of this term to modular construction is that it's under a control environment, and it has to be later transported to the actual site to finish the termination. This is industrialized building system. Okay, so it is a concept like this. A few Lego add together, become a house. This is IBS as Lego block concept. Okay, so these are the different type of IBS under CIDB. Okay, we have 6 major category: timber framing, metal framings, and then reusable formworks, precast concrete, blocks. Okay, block is just by a category, and then innovative. Many of the different type of construction method under IBS is that not fall under here, it will go to innovative. Okay, so just some example of this. Precast concrete is components made of steel mold at a different size to shape this. It can be 2D, it can be 3D. Okay, so this is precast concrete. These are some of the example of the completed project using precast concrete. Okay, further to that, we have this reusable formwork. Okay, so reusable formwork is that we're going to reuse the formwork continuously for same purpose, like going high rise to do shear wall and so on. Okay, there are a few types. It can be steel, it can be aluminum. So these are some of the projects using reusable formwork. Metal framing using steel. Steel is the things that I like to use the most. First thing, you can recycle it. Okay, you can scrap it, you can sell it. But it's a timber formwork, you cannot do that. Okay, so metal framing is one of the components. And then these are the type that we are using. Okay, this is a project that we completed for Petronas. Okay, and same thing, we are using containerized item inside as well. Okay, so further to that, timber framing is one of it, but it's not so popular in among our industry. Is because it's still timber after all. Okay, then these are the completed products of using timber framing. Okay, block itself is part of IBS too. Okay, block is like we need to use this kind of block, and then recently they are so famous, all the architects like to use one type of block. It's called WAN block. Okay, recently architects like to use WAN block because it creates the very nice aesthetic view and serve the purpose of natural ventilation. Okay, this is type of the block that we can use under IBS. Typical size is 200, 600, times 100. Okay, so if let's say the wall you want it to be 200, you just the blocks only. Okay, these are the example using block walls in Polytechnic Bantin. Okay, completed in 18-month times. Okay, so under innovative, this is where the modular construction is. Okay, cuboid modulars is one of the systems that created by us. Okay, to be part of the innovative system under IBS. Okay, later I'll tell you our pain applying for this IBS that just now in the ZARIM have already tell that we are now IBS, but the pain is the things that none of you will know. Okay, so under IBS, under this innovative category is where our modular construction is, because there are so many different things. That's why it's fall under this category. Okay, so these are some of the sample projects for the innovative. So this is a typical completed production of modular construction. They're using innovative that have completed with all the fit out and finish. Okay. Okay, just touch on this thing. Why is this important? Is because moving forward, all the buildings that we build must have IBS scoring. Okay, and I believe this IBS scoring will move or change according to construction technology. The more we build, the more things that we are looking at to be faster and more efficient and reduce labor, reduce wastage. So this IBS scoring is something very important. Even recently, we have this 3D printing coming into Malaysia too. Okay, these are some of the figure that we got, but I don't think this is very updated. Okay, so this is an IBS product manufacturing distributor across the state. Most of them are in Selangor. Okay, so these are the based on the manufacturing distributors. So these are the numbers. Okay, so further to that, let me share with you all our pain together with CIDB and CRIM that we try to get this CPA. Okay, so this CPA is a construction product approval before we can be certified as IBS company. Okay, so we need to work together with CRIM in order for us to be proven that our concept works. Okay, so CRIM will give us a technical opinion reports. Okay, you can see here our product is called Cuboid Modulars. It's under our companies. Okay, this is our cert as an IBS. Okay, we as a pengeluar. Okay, so these are the few key things that we need to comply to under these Cuboid Modulars under the CRIM technical opinions. Okay, key thing here is fire resistant. I believe all architect is very well known with this BS 476 part 22. Very famous fire testing. Okay, then we're going to have a hot streams test, performance test for partition wall. Okay, these are the things that we need to comply before we can become an IBS system. Okay, the rest of the item mostly fire resistant, energy saving, okay, precision, and then versatile. So these are the few things that we pull out from the reports to show that part of the technical opinions. Okay, and because this is something that not inside the law yet, that is a difficult part that we have. Not saying an argument, but we have a discussion with the panel, asking them and telling them to convince them how can our system work. Because our system is using a lightweight panels and then to build become a cuboid modulus. That is where the different opinion come in, because the set of law inside CIDB or inside UBBL law is different from what we propose. That's why the panel play a very important role to guide us to the correct path, and also we have to convince them why our system can work. Okay, so this is where we do our fire test with the ZARIM. Okay, it's a pain process. Yeah, we did this many times. And after that, all the preparation, we finally complete it. Okay, you can see this is a solid cuboid, solid wall. Is a rating at 2 hours, fire resistant. Okay, so this is what we get from ZARIM, and it's fresh from our is on the last year only, July. Okay, so this is our testing. Okay, on top you can see the clock don't have numbers one. Okay, both is one is inside, one is outside. Okay, after 2 hours, then you can see inside outside. Okay, so to dear all architect, this is not pretty because this is bare finish. Okay, so once completed, it looks like this. So physically looks nothing different. Performance is still there. Okay, so it's using a paneling system. This is a hybrid. Okay, it's a hybrid modulus is because we have a steel column at the like a framing to hold these panels. Okay, so after that we're going to have a hose reel. Hose reel test is like we're going to use a 30 psi water, the bomba water, to shoot on the wall. Okay, to show that during fire, if let's say bomba come into the house and they use the water hose reel to shoot on the wall while the wall collapse or not. Okay, thank God, pass the test. Okay, so what happened, you can see the difference between this is that all the cement, the mortar gone already at the middle here. Okay, but these are still joined together. Okay, so on the side of this, what we use a solid 1/6 mortar, okay, is still there. Okay, so this whole panel passed the test. Okay, the hot steel 30 psi is not, if you shoot at a human, they really can fly away one. Okay, these are the testing. Okay, we are so afraid that this wall going to collapse, that time, but it is still can withstand the pressure from the water. So this is our cert after that, okay, which we are very happy with it. Okay, so you can see that we are now integrity and isolasi 2 jam, okay, under our companies, and this is a wall system on the non-node bearing that completed this BS 476 part 22 1987. Okay, 120 minutes. These are the key things I want to show. This is the key to build a modular construction in Malaysia. Without this, there is no way for us to build a modular construction, because the authority of Bomba won't agree that where your wall come from. Did you go through Bomba? So we went through. So important thing is that when architect want to build a house, we need to know that the enforcement have already come from the authorities. KPKT has done the enforcement, okay, on CIDB IBS, okay, mewajibkan kaedah IBS sebagai kelulusan kebenaran merancang. Without IBS, your KM cannot approve. Any project swasta bernilai 50 juta ke atas mesti pakai IBS. It's already there in our rules and regulation. Why we are not looking more at once instead of using yes, maybe partial is IBS. If we can go 80%, 90% IBS, why not? Tahap pencapaian penggunaan kaedah IBS dalam projek minimum score 50. That's why I show you the IBS scoring just now. Okay, projek bernilai 50 juta, keluasan projek 50,000 meter square. Okay, untuk kediaman, rumah, bertingkap, bangunan komersial dan industri. This is the endorsement from KPKT. Okay, so now I still have time, Mr. Darim.
You have 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Okay, I try
Speed
to
up.
run through this lah.
Yeah, speed up, speed up.
Okay.
I speed up. Okay, so this is me. Okay, recently there are many awards that we are joining. Okay, one of the latest one is what I want to show is on this Soba. Okay, we are a company who believe in building a sustainable building. Okay, I go to join this Green Award and also Entrepreneur of the Years. Okay, myself have been in the industry for more than 14 years. Okay, that is where I build a passion because of one thing. What I see from overseas, from other countries, from US, from Australia, from Singapore, from Thailand, why is it not in Malaysia? That is the thing I want to bring this awareness back to Malaysia. Together with all the architects today, we will make Malaysia great again. Without all this technology, we are like, you know, people from overseas think that, hey, Malaysian, you all stay itu atas itu pokok kan. You know, I'm so malu and I want to prove to them Malaysia is now no longer like this and we are a place that is building a construction technology. And it all not just start from me, but start from every single one of you who is here attending my technical talk. Let's bring the passion to you as an architect to make our mindset changing in using modular construction, which I think will benefit the nation and all of us. Okay, of course, I have a team that is helping me. Okay, we started since 30 years ago. Okay, that when my father we are doing a steel modulars is for site facilities to use. Okay, today we are already going into modulars that is going into a high-end modulars. Okay, we have a team and our factory is at the Jalan Meru near the Top Glove factory there lah. Okay, those architects who know me, we are at the cluster Teratai Maya Dangerous. Okay, so this is our company certificate. Okay, ISO 9001. We are grade 7 contractors. Okay, important thing in our industry, not many players will go to ISO 45001. We very strongly believe in safety and health. Okay, not many company, especially contractors, unless they are required under oil and gas. But we are not. We do that because we think we have to do it. Okay, so we are IBS. Finally, I can put this logo in my companies. Okay, just some key milestones of my companies lah. Started 1985. This is where actually the year I was born as well, but my company was founded already. So main thing I just want to bring over to year 2020. That's where we get many of our certification. ISO 45001, IBS, and at the same year we get Golden Bull Award, Soba Green Initiative, and Entrepreneur of the Years. Okay, so these are key milestones. So what we basically do, we do a lot of site facilities. Okay, then we do prefab building, prefabricated building. I'll show you some sample later. We build a lot of accommodation. Okay, be it for workers or for the student to stay and so on. We are strong believer in modular construction, definitely. Okay, so all this is back to steelwork. Okay, so this is what we do. This is our office. So we have to lead by example. So my office also built using containers. You have to be modular construction, right? Okay, so that is our office in Meru. If you are free, feel free to come to visit us, but not during this MCO who just got extended for another 2 weeks. Yeah. Okay, we just want to show some example of steel modular construction using shipping container. Okay, it's how beautiful it can be. This is a dashboard hotel at Cyberjaya. Okay, it's how it looks like. Okay, it's a building by itself. Okay, they have a double roof. You can see here, they have a double roof on top. Okay, don't worry about the heat insulation and so on. I can help you. Okay, this is where we built for Langkawi Skytrack, using containers. That is the problem when we have to send these containers all the way from Klang to Kedah to port, then take the vessel, go over to Langkawi and transfer. But we finally reached there. Okay, this is how it looks like, containerized. Okay, this is one of the resort at the Pasir Gudang. Okay, and then we also built for this Petronas Learning Center in Semangeh. Okay, recently they have an expansion of their campus. So we built one of the offices using container. It's a sustainable buildings. Rainwater housing system, double tank. Okay, so cantilever like this. There are some concept, and then this is a metal framing. Okay, inside using shipping containers. On top of the roof, I never take the picture, is using solar panels. Okay, so this is a concept. This is under Veritas. Okay, so we work together with very tough architect. I don't know go Veritas architect here or not. Sorry if I say anything wrong. Okay, so back also in EcoWorld, we build a retail commercial for them. Okay, so those who work with EcoWorld know that we do this for them. It's a very successful project and very nicely done by the developers. So this is a buildings using container too. Okay, this L shape is all containerized for commercial. Okay, then we have the toilets and so on. Okay, it's open for public. It's since I think completed 2 years ago already. Okay, so in terms of shipping containers, there are many uses that we can also work together because of pandemic. Okay, we have actually developed this medical module, we call it MedMod, that we have already export to Singapore. Okay, it's an ICU unit. Okay, and recently we are also talking to KKM on this thing as well, that hope we can help them to build an immediate ICU to help the patient. Okay, good that the number is coming down, but it still take a very long time for it to really go until single digit. Every one of us know that. Okay, so we have to really stay safe out there. Okay, so this whole modules is comply to all the hospital requirement. The floor is using anti-electrostatic. We have the bed head, negative pressure. It's ICU unit. Okay, so next we're going to look at the prefabricated cabin. Is also part of steel modulars. Okay, we completed this under MLT 2, KV MLT 2. Okay, we built a labor quarter for them that cater for 2,400 pack. Is compliance to Act 446. I think this is something very interesting topic recently. Okay, so this is how we build it. This is a steel modular we're looking at. This is not the normal cabin that we can see outside. It is an engineer cabin. It's compliant to MS and BS standard, and also of course fire. It's a 1 hour fire rated module. Okay, and this is considered as a permanent building. Okay, if you can see it, this is considered a permanent building. Okay, so further to this is what we built in Pengerang, under the Rapid project. Okay, it's a 4-story high building using prefab system. Total is for 4,000 packs inside Pengerang. Okay, this is how it looks like inside. It's for people like us to stay one. It's not for labor. It's for engineers. It's for the managers, senior manager, for them to stay. Okay, so this is what we built for MMC Gamuda. This one built long time back, and they are still using it until today. They are supposed to use for 3 MRT 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so they are using it now for MRT 2. Okay, so hybrid modulars. Hybrid modular is where we're going to have concrete, also steel. Okay, so this is some of the example of hybrid modulars using steel and concrete. Okay, so these are some others modulars that we can just put as a module and send to site to use immediately. Okay, as guard house and toilets and so on. Okay, now we're going to touch a little bit on the cuboid modulars. This is the things that we are currently sending and doing together with this cream. Okay, so this is one of the example that we built as a module. We already have the prototype for this that we're going to have to showcase to cream as well. Okay, these are the things that we use to get the approval from Bomba and also from cream and also from CIDB. Okay, there are two concepts. First is as a hotel unit. Inside you can see here, you come in the door here, and then there's a bed, and this is a balcony. And the next one is we build as a dormitory. Dormitory can be for labor or for student. Okay, this is this is hybrid modulars. Okay, so this is how it looks like when we completed as a buildings. Okay, there are few modules, then we can join together. Just now I talk about creativity is that you not just need to put it side by side. You can put it at the back, and then you complete this whole become a square. Then it is part of modulars already. And we have to bear in mind is that the width and the length of the modulars is always limited. This is a constraint and challenge that we have. Okay, So further to that, these are some of the key things that we have to look into, okay? And we always have to draw it out nicely in order to avoid all the clashes, okay? So this is cuboid modulars that we are developing currently, okay? So if any architect, they want to reach us, okay, we can always tell you how to build modulars by layout. That is important things, okay? So these are the cert that we get. We have two types of cert. One is the 2 hours, one is the 1 hours one. Okay, so now I want to touch on the future of modular construction. While we are still not modularized yet, Malaysia, I'm telling you, how do we build future of modulars? Why this is important is because we need to know where we are moving forward to. Only we know what we need to do now. If we do not know the future, we won't know what we need to do now. Okay, so this thing I touched into two main components. One is building information modeling, BIM. One is DFMA, design for manufacturing assembly. Okay, so same thing. Solid Horizon has also worked with a company called BIM Asia. So we create a company called BIM Mode. It means BIM modulars. Okay, we will put in the concept of BIM into a modular construction. It have to be smart, sustainable, and unique, adaptable, plus it always have to be modulars, and it definitely have to be certified by ZARIM. Okay, so the good thing about BIM is that if let's say those architects who still not very sure about BIM, BIM is a very powerful tool. Even myself also not very excellent in this. They are professional under BIM. That is my partners Okay, so BIM, we are sustainable, doing simulation. We can do a VE, value engineer, in terms of with all the data, without the building, we already analyze how to optimize the buildings, and then we can do cost saving. Okay, collaboration work platform is like when we talk to the client, we show them the BIM module. Okay, then we can show exactly how it looks like before they make changes. So this is where we can reduce all the site changes via BIM. We already can let the customer know. And recently we are talking about VR. Okay, so schedule maintenance. So in BIM, it can be 3D, 4D, 5D until 7D. Okay, 3D is the base model. Then we touch on schedule. Then we touch on cost is 5D, 6D sustainability, 7D is the asset. Okay, if you want to know more about BIM, you all can go to BIM Ed. Okay, there is one of the education teaching you what is BIM. It's good to know. To me, it's good to know. I myself learning too. Okay, so this is what I touch on BIM. Next, DFMA. This is a manufacturer of Toyota plant. Okay, I think one is overseas, one is in Thailand one. So this plant is like we are building a car. Okay, so it's called DFMA. How can a modular construction design for manufacturing assembly when we do this? We will accelerate the on-site and off-site fabrication. We have a high quality control because it's all under control environment. No less site labors, safer work environment, and this all have to be lighter, so we can create a very much lighter foundation. Okay, because if you use steel modulars, it will be very much lighter compared to concrete. Sustainable, recycle, and less wastage. Okay, nothing to say. If you are into modulars, you are into sustainable. We are building a green buildings. Okay, so we can minimize many forced work. Okay, this is the beauty of it. So with this, we have to design the modular construction to be DFMA. Okay, I want to show you this before I finish my slide. Okay, so this is when we buy a Toyota. You go to their website, you see this thing. Okay, you see the model, Yaris, Corolla, Camry. Imagine this. If my website is like this, and I have this, this is how our future going to be. Buy a house like buy a car. This is what I want to build. If imagine that you can go on a website and you select your house, of course the challenge is always the PPT. But if let's say there's one time that we're able to get an agreement within the nation, within the consultant, that we can build a house like buying a car, this is when Malaysia has successfully moved to another step of building a sustainable buildings. Imagine today you can just go to the website and click, I want my house to be 800 square feet. I have the land. I click this model. 3 months later, these two modules go to your place and we just put it there. Then become your house. Approved. This is the future, right? It's not something that is far. It's already happening in our in other part of the country, in overseas, especially in United States and Australia. Okay, these players are big, and why not in Malaysia? That is always the question I ask. And with me, one person, there is no way for me to change the world. But with all of you here, we have today 389 person watching this. I hope this helped you. I hope my dream can reach you. And with that, I want you to think a little bit big, dream big, and you have to believe in big, and always our result will be big. And it always has to start from every one of us here. My sharing is because I want to let you know the future of construction, it lies to modular construction, BEAM, DFMA. Okay, my very simple philosophy, we all have to be persistent with what we do and have to be consistent, or else people will forget about you. And then we believe that this will happen. Okay, with that, I end my sharing. Okay, I think I ngam on time.
Well done.
So this is some of my source lah. This is some of my source that I get from for all the information. So just some disclaimer over here. Okay, so yeah, any question or not?
Okay, thank you very much for very insightful, very detailed presentation on modular construction. Just to remind everybody, modular construction is still part of IBS, because IBS is industrial building system. So you're inside, of course, this IBS is actually very unique to Malaysia. The term IBS is only unique to Malaysia, okay? But in other countries, it's called many other things, okay? They are called modular construction, they are called prefabricated, and many others, you know, depending on which country you're talking about, okay? So that is one of the things. So I think, you know, James has done a very good job here in delivering his presentation, and I think it's very insightful. Currently, what do you call it? We have about another 15 to 20 minutes for Q&A. I will get back. I will go straight away to the questions that are being asked. Let me just quickly look into the. Okay, currently the first questions that was put up. Okay, I'm not sure whether you can answer this. If you can't, then I'll try to answer as best as I can. Okay, the first question that was given from architect Afiq Mohamin. Okay, what happened to our government initial requirement for 70% IBS component in public projects, whether it is successfully implemented or otherwise?
Yeah, ini I think I cannot answer.
Maybe Ham, do you want to help out?
70%.
Mr. Ham?
Government initial requirement for 70% IBS component in public project.
Okay, let me. Okay, Ham, you want to help out?
I would think that actually is basically, I think this is kind of like why it's not been successful. I think it's many contributors, many factors. One of them actually I would say that the awareness of the people, like, you know, the consultant team, the architects, at the same time developer, and also the authority. Authority, definitely CIDB is very keen on these things. But actually, like, because of like a money contribution on, like, you know, cost because actually why IBS has been implemented by CIDB, because actually like the benefit definitely more than now the current current conventional way of construction. That's why actually it has to become, it will come in a matter of time only. So the awareness really, like, that's why actually a consultant like you, it's important to talk to the developer and the industry's players so that they will appreciate about this IBS. So I would say that, it takes a bit time to digest. This is what I can see. The implementation definitely, it will help from the consultant to contribute more to tell the people, especially the developer, that, you have to go for it. So this is my personal opinion. Thank you.
Maybe I can help here, being involved in CIDB, IBS. Okay, that basically, let us understand it's not 70%. Okay, it is 70 points. Okay, percent means the components inside the building must be 70% IBS. No, it's not the case. It is actually 70 points for that is being awarded to the building via the IBS score. Generally, I would say, according to some of the latest report from CIDB, generally most of the government, because this is referring to the government buildings, okay, generally it is now about 80 or 90%, almost 90% is now the buildings themselves achieve that 70%, 70 points the 70 point according to the IBS score. Okay, the next one, I hope that answers your architect Safik's question. The next one that is from Farid Ghaffar actually has 2 points, 2 questions here. Okay, I might as well throw it to you directly. Okay, the 2. What is your opinion on hybrid IBS? That means a combination of conventional and IBS in residential building. That is number 1. And then the other question that is being asked also by Farid is why a 3D construction getting more popularity and exposure lately in comparison with IBS? Would you like to take it on?
Okay, for first question, in terms of hybrid between conventional and IBS, I believe this is the way for some developers or contractors to get the scoring of IBS. Okay, so that's why they go into this hybrid between conventional and also IBS, which to me, if let's say we were to do it IBS, why not we do it completely IBS? Okay, so that is to answer the first question. Okay, just for second is
the second one is why a 3D printing construction getting more popular, okay, and exposure lately in comparison with IBS?
Okay, Malaysians love new thing, but how practical is 3D printing? People talking about this 3D printing in Europe 20 years ago. Okay, they start building machine and so on. Now it's in Germany, it's almost matured. Okay, but when it comes to Malaysia, so people start talking about, oh, we have 3D printing and so on. But do we see the practicality of it or not? In terms of costing, instead of repetitive, okay, do we have enough volume to handle this or not? Okay, there are many ways for us to generate this thing. Of course, it is a very good comparison because why? Everyone want to go into construction technology. But are we at the correct way to going into construction technology? Are we moving one step ahead or we're moving 10 steps? Okay, if we are like one step, then okay, we'll reach somewhere. But if let's say thinking about 3D printing, I believe is a little bit further because it is still not so practical for now, from my point of view.
Okay, let's move on. The next question is from Norwina Muhammad Nawawi. Okay, modular construction is intuitive. Mode differs different according to the available sources, including technology or know-how needs. Although IBS or MC was introduced in the 1980s, until now only the government projects funded projects using IBS. My question is on timber construction. Traditionally, our traditional houses uses timber. We know that timber construction is modular, although it is not prepared off-site. FRAME is encouraging the use of timber as timber is sustainable compared to other materials. Can you elaborate on this?
Okay, first thing first, when we talk about timbers, when we use more timber, means we cut small tree. I discourage usage of timber because timber, yes, we can, the performance of timber is different compared to steel. Okay, steel is iron ore, and then steel we always can reuse, we can recycle, but there's no way for us to recycle a timber, even though we can always use it. But timber is a very good component as a insulation because the property of timber and steel are different. Okay, so that's why in terms of modular construction, we always look into concrete or steel as one of the key components to this. Yeah.
Okay, then moving on. Okay, from Maria Pitt. I have recurring problems with leakage at the window frame for my container homes. How do you resolve this? Thank you.
Wow, this one super technical, and then we expected this question too. People will always ask about leakage.
Yep.
To answer your container home, you can try to use the for those roofing, when they're roofing the steel metal deck roofing, when they overlay the roofing, we're gonna have a layer of the waterproof membrane. Okay, use those membrane, it will help because those are meant for outdoor and meant for water leakage issue. Yeah, so you can try to use that method to fix your leaking in your containers lah. It can even paste over to the steel plate.
All right, then there is one. I'm not sure whether this is. It doesn't sound like a question, okay, but it's more like a statement. Concrete itself is already up to 70% and cannot be considered foreign. Okay, so I'm not sure what's the question there.
Okay.
The next one will be: can renovation work be done on IBS modular construction?
Sorry again.
Can a renovation works be done on IBS or modular construction?
Okay, in terms of modular construction, it's not just applicable in construction industry. Today, even renovation for cabinet, they use modular system too. Okay, even we have another company, same company as we are doing safe box. We are using modular construction to do a ward room, inside a bank, a ward room. So modular construction not just applicable in modular construction, it can apply in any different sector. Renovation, it is some of the things that we can think about. You want your cabinet to be fast, you fabricate everything in the factory, you come over, fit in only. Okay, but bear in mind is that for modular construction, in order for you to bring down the cost, it always have to be repetitive. So if let's say the house renovation is highly customized, it's not recommended because it defeats the purpose of doing the mold, spending money on the mold, and then after that you only use for 1 or 2 units. It won't be cost effective. Yeah.
Can I add on this?
Can go ahead.
Okay. For this renovation work, actually, we has been discussing with one developer in Penang, where they want to do about high rise for renovation extension for kind of a hospital, a permanent hospital. So now actually I in the middle of discussing with the architect and the developer to use our module system, because you see, we are being a modular contractor fabricator ourselves. Actually, our system is actually very, very very wide, because really like we can use a kind of knockdown system. We can use a total PPVC, or we can just use like total like kind of like Lego style. So actually like we can suit to the requirement of the particular projects. So we are very flexible. So I would say in terms of renovation for buildings, I would say modular construction, it can be done, and it will be done in a very faster way compared to the conventional way of doing renovation. Like for example, you have to build, the column lah, the beam lah, you have to cast it lah, you do the, the so-called the timber formwork lah. All things are so slow and so messy, because our modular system should basically be using steel and wall panel system. So we can do a knockdown system, or we can do a complete one. Yeah.
Okay, apparently there's a few more questions here. We still got a few, I think about 10 minutes more. Yeah. Okay, one more question come from Khairuddin Darwish. Normally, what is the typical arrangement contract between the main contractor, IBS, supplier, building owner, mode of payment and down payment deposit to the IBS supplier, as well as material on site? Would you like? Yeah.
Okay, so basically for this, okay, we have to treat modular construction as a factory product, okay, because most of the things is done off-site. So we have to go to assess the completed product at the factory, not based on conventional contract that we claim progress at site. Okay, meaning to say that if let's say I go to site and say, oh, okay, today 2-story, I pay you 2-story, tomorrow 3-story, but you forget that we have completed more than 70% of the work at the factory already. So the assessment in terms of contract have to assess that this company is a manufacturer rather than as a contractor. Okay, so it's a manufacturer or a supplier. So the term of the contract is always have to start like what I shared just now. It has to be appointed prior or before even we get the approval, is because once the design is out, it always have to already incorporate the modular construction. Okay, we have to know how to build the building before even we design the buildings. Or else, let's say the architect technically is we draw wrongly. We draw the width, it become 3.6 meter. Then when we go to tender stage, we say, hey, 3.6 cannot do that. Which is what always happen nowadays, because the paneling system and so on, even a conventional contract also, because of the width or the length, we have to change a bit of the design. Okay, so in terms of the method to award the contract, it always has to start from the front. Okay, these are the things that many developers or even consultants cannot accept. Okay, but remember, we are in evolution. We are changing the things. So we have to change the way how we think.
Okay, I think we have 2 more questions.
Okay.
Here. Okay, elaborate on the process from design to construction in a conventional procurement. Do architects need to design with modular in mind, or other designers will take over? Who will sign off the design and take up the design liabilities?
This is I believe for now in Malaysia, we still do not have such regulation of who will be taking care of the design liabilities. Okay, of course, as architect, we will need to design the overall buildings, design for purpose. Okay, design fit for purpose. And when a modular contractors or a manufacturing come in, we come in to tell you what is the things for you to include in your design. Okay, it is the same concept. It is the same concept like when we buy things. Let's say, for example, today I want to buy okay, for example, air guard fan. Okay, air guard fan. Air guard itself is manufacturing in the factory. Okay, but the architect want to put it in the high roof. Okay, so the architect already designed, I need a fan there. Okay, so the fan itself, the liability is by the manufacturer. Okay, but the designing of not efficient of the fan ventilation is by the architect. So the design of the overall of the building, I would say by the architect. But the failure of the component or the modulus itself or the model of the module itself is by the manufacturer.
Thank you. And let's go to the last one. For steel modular construction, how do the fire protection and rating element of the structure be done?
This is our know-how. You have to come to see us. Okay, I just share a little bit here. Steel is always the issue for fires. Okay. The key point here is that cement is always the friend. Yeah, that's what I can share.
Yeah, I think maybe I can further elaborate from here. Basically, like you can see, our cuboid modular is a combination of column and beam made of steel, and the wall is made of concrete. It can be lightweight or normal conventional concrete, or even bricks also, but it's very slow lah, you know. So basically, what we do, Solid Horizon, our cuboid modular, actually is like we invented this product called Solid 168. This Solid 168 basically is kind of like a mortar where actually it has been fired to about 1002 degrees Celsius with the bomber requirement, the BS476. So it has been fired for 2 hours, and actually, like, you know, the insulation still valid, and at the same time, like, the thing never crumble at the whole stream test at the 30 psi pressure. So basically, like you see, our cuboid modular, actually, I would say it's a system of wall, column, and beam. And actually, it has been tested to follow the bomber requirement of BS476 plus the whole stream E2226. Okay, so I hope that actually answer this the question on about this steel. For us, also, we always want to address so that our products are certified by bomber. At the same time, that, you know, you follow the ZARIM test, things like that. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I think we have one last one. I think this is the last one that I'm going to take. If there is anything else, we will forward to you, you know, to be able to answer probably online itself. Okay, the last one is for housing, we are tied up with the HDA Schedule G or H. Okay, how can we claim from the buyers to the payment to the contractors or the suppliers? There would be a great mismatch in timing, as a lot of work has been completed by the contractor stroke supplier at the factory, and it has not been installed on site. So would you like to answer this?
Actually, this is this question is very applicable. Is because exactly that when we try to claim using conventional way of the construction, we can, because there's already things at site. Okay, so back to the answer I answered just now, that this thing we have to treat that 70% of the thing is it come from the factory. Okay, so we have to assess in a way that those things are already completed. Okay, so the schedule with the bank have to be arranged differently. Okay, including the S&P sign will be different too. Okay, so in order to change all this regulation, it might not be like a one-day things, but it might take some times. Okay, including acceptance. Okay, just for examples, in Singapore, if you buy a house, you know, they claim is not via stage of 10% foundation, 10% slab, 10% wall, 10% ceiling, and then fit out and so on. Okay, they will claim via when the module is completed at the factory. They will basically go to certify this thing. Okay, and they will claim from bank already. Okay, why I know this is because their friend who is from me in Singapore, they buy property there. That is how the bank claim back to them. Why the Singaporean can accept this is because is pushed all the way from government that all the building must be PPVC and modularized, and every single sector have to comply to this, including bank. So when this thing happen, there is no one party they'll have a conflict. Okay, so that is how it works. So I hope I answer this question.
Maybe can I just further elaborate? Because really, I would say IBS is to protect every one of us here, the Malaysian especially, from the professional until the labor. Because actually, like a lot of work, all these things, if you can, you try to use all the local work. So because actually all these things, it has been done by the local. So actually, we're giving the more actually option to the local people. Because really a lot of quality work, it has to be like more skill compared to like the current conventional way of construction. So you see, like for example, like why Singapore can able to do it, because really same thing also, because the work has been done. The work can be actually so-called that monitor when you go offsite. You go to the factory, you visit, you verify it. This thing has been constructed, and you can verify with your certification. And the bank will definitely will follow your certification. Why? Because you satisfy it, because you have seen it your side. So same thing also, we can invite customer to go to the factory to inspect whether this is real or not. Do I actually pay this make payment to make sure that you have done it? So if this is confirmed, then this is like you have done it, I had to pay you. That's all very straightforward process.
I think Ham bring up a very important point is that in this case, architect play the most important rules, because whatever claim that we submitted to bank is also certified by AL.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the AL need to certify not the site work, but the factory work.
Yeah.
That is the difference.
Okay, I think there are more questions in the chat.
Yeah, coming more good.
Yeah, there seem to be a lot of questions in the chat group, in the chat, but then I don't think we have time. Let me just summarize some of the things according to what has been set up. Okay, it seems that there is still many things that is still questionable by the architects and the participants inside here. Some of them may be not only just architects, but other consultants. And maybe there are subcontractors as well as developers here too, because some of the questions actually refers to things like contract. Our current contract, it seems to be that we do not cater for all these questions. Okay, all these, your answers may be a very simple answer, but at the moment, it doesn't reflect what is in the contract or the SNP. For example, you say, okay, the architect can go to the site, to the factory and verify all these things. But it's not as easy as that, because you have to verify the units themselves on site. Okay, so as long as you don't deliver the thing on site, you cannot be paid. Cannot be paid 70% as you pointed out. Okay, it has to be on site. So your installation, then only we can, But good thing is that the Singapore model may be something that the Malaysian authority may want to look at. Okay, but until and unless that happens, it's not. It's going to be a tough hurdle a bit. Okay, so there are still many questions to be answered. Okay, in terms of this, whilst we want to give a simple answer, we have to look at the legal part of it. Okay, right. The legality part of it, the contracts, the SMP, the contract between the developer and the purchaser, and then the purchaser, the purchasers, our duties as consultants, what are our duties and what are our responsibilities. This has not been clarified yet. So I think there's still a lot more that we can look into. Okay, or we have to look into before we can have something as perfect or rather near perfect as in Singapore. Singapore is a good example, but it's not practical with us at the moment, because Singapore has only one building authority. Right. Okay, we have over 144 authorities, each one wanting to do. We have so many technical agencies, each wanting to have their own say. So a lot of these things needs to go back and forth. To say that it's not being discussed is also not right, but it's just that we haven't come to a conclusion. I think with that, I would like to thank everybody, all the participants here. At the moment now, we have 380, almost 390 participants, although over, although 500 have signed up. Okay, but this is normally what happens. They sign up, but they don't turn up. Okay, so once again, thank you very much for a very insightful presentation, and some of the questions are very challenging. Some of the questions, as pointed out, we will share some of the questions that are not being able to answer here. Maybe if you take time, you can answer, then we can put it onto our website,
Sure.
the answers that are more appropriate. With that, thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much for your time too, Mr. ZARIM, and I take this opportunity to thanks all the architects who joined me. Other than the 390 participants, actually, I looked at the Facebook Live. There are around 50 to 60 over there too. Okay, thanks everyone who joined this. And just one word before I say it out, modular construction is something that can really change how we build buildings. That's my belief. Okay, and I am someone who very passionate into this, and those who share the same passion, please feel free to share whatever knowledge you have with me. I will be more than happy to discuss with you. Okay, believe in one thing, we want to change our nation. It start from every one of you. Okay, so it cannot come from just outside push back, but it has to start from each and every one of us. Okay, so with that, I thanks Pam for letting us to share this technical talk. Okay, I believe and I hope that this will actually enlighten all of you, at least the surface of modular construction. Okay, thanks for time, and thanks for Inject ZARIM as well.
Yeah, thank you very much, ZARIM, also, and thank you all the background worker who has been supporting us on this channel for the webinar, and also thank you participants for your patience, and actually very happy UI, because every minute I saw the participants increasing, like 5 number, 4 number, 2 number, 1 number. Every minute, actually, I've been recording all these things. So thank you very much for your patience. If anything that's wrong, forgive us, and we can clarify with us later if you like to meet us more. Go to Solid Horizon YouTube or go to Horizon Facebook. You can find us. Okay, thank you very much for your time.
In the social media.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Just a reminder to all the participants: don't forget to log off if you want your CPD points, because if you don't log off, then you will not be able to get your CPD points. That is a very important point. And there is a QR code where you can have further if you wish to have further information on the products or the technical to be answered by you guys. You can do so, or otherwise you can. We will share also a link to their website. Okay, so just a reminder to all of you. With that, I thank everybody again, and hope to meet you guys in future technical talks. Okay, maybe something else. So with that, thank you very much, everybody, and have a nice and safe day. Have a great week.